G'day audience, it's been a short break again, always lots of fun. Couple of questions in from Mike Bogle. I'll start with the first one. It's in relation to blog advertising. Mike wants to know is advertising on blogs, when to embrace and when to avoid. Here's a couple of sub-points, I'll sort of answer them as I go. Advantages and disadvantages. I think, particularly if you're providing the content for free, that advertising is not unreasonable. I've never been one of these people who believes that advertising is bad on blogs. When I first started blogging, there wasn't advertising there. This is pre-AdSense days. You could run like an Amazon affiliate box, so that was about it. And I remember when AdSense came along and guys like Scoble and Dave Weiner just whinged and whined and carried on about how evil advertising was, and but it was a sellout and that it's the end of the fucking world. It obviously wasn't. The fact that, 3 years after doing this full time, I'm still doing this full time, is testament to the fact that advertising can work. Just looking at the questions here again. Mike mentions the TechCrunch writing about Scoble selling out. Look, Michael Arrington remembers, as I do. In fact, I'm surprised Michael does, because it was probably pre he starting TechCrunch. He must have been reading blogs like I did before he actually started blogging, so he can remember Scoble carrying on about advertising on blogs and how he'd never do it and it was a cop-out. The problem with poor old dear Robert is that he's now not only putting ads on his site, he's spamming Twitter and he's got the Seagate logo in his header. I think that's borderline. But certainly sell out from his perspective, but I mean, in the broader scheme of things, I thought the Seagate logo, or the part of the Seagate logo in the header, was a bit too far. I mean, by all means, have your ads, indicate that they're ads, and have them defined as ads, but to actually work it into your header and your themes. I know guys like Perez Hilton do it, but that's maybe a step too far. Just looking at the questions again. Do you think inclusion of advertising on a blog website can affect reader perceptions? I don't think so. I think readers are quite accepting of ads. I think there's obviously some advertising blindness, and we're seeing guys like Widget Bucks who still haven't approved my application. I'm going to ping them about that. It's pretty shitty given the look of publicity I gave them. Widget Bucks, which is Empire. There's a couple of other widget providers. Look, there's all these variations of things. I remember Tatika when it launched a couple of years back. And that was a bit of a scam to start with. I remember I think I'd made 10 grand in my first month, and they turned around and said, "Oh no, it's only 500." I should forgive them for that, but they're still going. I mean, Tatika was one of the first to innovate these sort of AdSense unit. We're seeing widget variations, and there's all sorts of different variations now. I don't think it takes away from a site. I think when people accept advertising, they know that they're getting something for free, which is content, hopefully valuable content, not always, but mostly. Certainly the spam blogs is not the case, but it's something in return for a free service, and that's how that the free economy has worked with blogs. That we have the rise of the professional blog and the professional bloggers because advertising has supported that, and even same with Web 2.0 services. The fact that all these companies can offer their services for free, that advertising does that. Advertising is not evil. Advertising has actually helped undermine traditional business models where we have to pay a shitload up front, particularly with Microsoft products, where today we can get services like Google Docs, Google Spreadsheets, and whatever the PowerPoint thing is called, ad supported. I think that's awesome. I think that's great for everybody. It levels the playing field. If you're looking at it from a social sort of a viewpoint, or socialist is maybe the better word, it allows those less well-off to have access to services, whereas 5 or 10 years ago, if you wanted to write a document on a computer, you had to go and buy Microsoft Word or Microsoft Office, and that wasn't a cheap exercise. Some of the next questions here. Instances where sites should not include ads. I really can't think of any, really. I suppose the pay-per-post model sort of moves away from the advertising, hides the ads. Again, I subscribe to the point of view that advertising is a bad thing. Most people accept advertising now. I suppose aesthetics is the thing that come in. I mean, obviously some sites are pretty without ads. I can't cite an example of that. Maybe Flickr. I don't think I've ever seen a flat ad on Flickr. But I suppose if you're a non-for-profit and you're getting government funding, for example, here in Australia, obviously not-for-profits don't get that much funding in the States, but if you're here in Australia and you're getting government funding to a point that ads may have a limitation. That's the ABC aside, because I think the ABC should be selling ads, the Australian Broadcasting Corporation. Can you discuss methods of implementing ads in terms of what to do and what not to do? I've always subscribed to the view that ads shouldn't be overwhelming. Now, I don't want to bag TechCrunch, but there's so many ads on TechCrunch above the fold, and I understand why Mike does it, because that's how you sell your ads. The ads should, to get click-throughs, particularly if you're doing CTR type advertising, you really need to break away from that perspective where people just don't see the ads. And to do that, you need to be above the fold. You need to be in all these positions where people can see your ads, they stand out, and they're like, wow, and they click on them. I get that. But again, TechCrunch isn't probably the best example. I mean, there's a lot worse out there, where ads are just smack bang in the middle of posts, or they're at the top of the post, the bottom of the post. It just makes the ad look ugly. I think people will take an interest in your ad if they're prominent without being overwhelming. So that's my advice: is put your ads there, put them in a relatively easy to see position. Don't hide them, because if you hide them, people won't see them. But on the same token, just don't be overbearing with it. That will actually, going back to what the earlier question was, that will actually turn people off. If you go to a website and it's like, here's an AdSense unit, here's another AdSense unit, so forth and so on, it's made for AdSense. You know it's a shit spam site. So that's what I'd advise in terms of that. I mean, there's a line in between. TechCrunch is pretty close to it, I think. I think Inquisitor is a bit better, but I'm biased. Obviously, I designed it myself. And I'll probably tweak those ads a little bit more, but you think of it from a user viewpoint. They want to read the content, don't overwhelm them, see how you go, have a bit of a play, read guys like Darren Rouse over at ProBlogger who have more advice on this. I think you did a post today or yesterday about ways to increase your AdSense CTR. But yeah, just, I suppose at the end of the day is, if I look at ads on a site, look at even the site I've written myself, do I like it personally? That's the thing. I'll actually walk back from it and go, no, nor the fact I'm a publisher. If I was visiting this site, do I like the layout? Do I like where the ads are? Are they overwhelming? Are they complimentary? Are they decent enough? Can people see them? Can people not see them? Look at it from, you've got to step back from it. And I think the better people are able to do that. I think that's the way to approach it.